Hey, my name is Belinda Doveston, and it is fantastic you are here with me for our weekly I Ching forecast for the week commencing the 22nd of December, 2025. If you're on holiday, I hope that you're having a fabulous time. Right, before we get stuck into what is the I Ching asking us to pay attention to this week, we cast our minds back. We looked to last week. We had Hexagram 63 after completion. Finishing, the last bite going in, chewing over the last little bit that needs to get done. And Hexagram 18, work on what has been spoiled, sorting out all those weeds, getting stuck into the garden in the midday sun, sweating it out and doing the work to create order where there was chaos. How did that work for you last week? Where was your attention being drawn to finishing things that were already in a finishing phase, not changing tack in the last moment, and getting the chaos out, sorting out the corruption of the garden? So I thought, okay, I'm going to work with this hexagram consciously, as I usually do, and I'm going to tackle completing things that are needing to be completed, where there is chaos, which was stuff on the accounting system. And what I discovered when I started doing that work and consciously allocating the time, being with the I Ching, focusing, is I found so many weeds I was horrified. Things that I thought were sorted, things that were balancing. No, just chaos. Okay, and I thought to myself, oh, Hexagram 18. Oh, what a pain. I'd much rather be doing other things, but no, I had to go and sort out that garden. So for you, what was on the cards? And if there's anything that came up for you in working with last week's flow of change, please do share a comment. Right, let's get into this week. All right, we're almost at the end of 2025. And the focus for this week, our starting energy for the week, is Hexagram 32, duration, which is a hexagram all about the long haul, the long distance, the long-term marriage that endures for 30, 40, 50 years. Okay, this is a long-term thing. So when we work with this hexagram, we think about not going for a sprint or pushing for a summit or pushing to achieve something, but understanding what it takes to endure in the long term, what it takes to get our energy to hold for the long term. I often say when you get to this time of the year, my philosophy is a personal recalibration point in a way. Is how do I feel at the end of the year? Do I feel absolutely psychologically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically smashed and exhausted? Or is there more juice in the tank? And for me, when you go through a year, even if it's been a busy, hectic, intense year, and you've got juice in the tank when you finish up the year, that means we have done something right in managing our energy for the whole period of the year. We have somehow managed, despite all the work and all the expression of energy that the year has asked us to bring, that we have managed our boundaries, managed our energy, managed our focus, managed our physical well-being, that we get to a place of being okay, not flattened. And for me, when I think about this hexagram and the fact that it's at the end of the year, that's what comes up for me. So it's a personal way of looking at how do you feel at the end of the year? How did I do, right? How did I manage my life and myself over this year, despite whatever might have happened? That's my personal reference point, and it may or may not help you. So use whatever it is that you have to think about the long term. What are you creating that needs to endure into the future? Not just 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. The bigger long-term game plan, the long game. Okay, what is the long game you're playing? Where is there some work required to think differently around the long game? Okay, and so endurance and being able to go for the whole marathon, that you run the whole marathon, and at the end you can still celebrate with your friends and family. You've got juice in the tank. You aren't completely destroyed by the experience. That is what this hexagram is bringing to us. And perhaps there is that opportunity, as I do with the end of the year, is to reflect on how did we endure? Where was our capacity to go the long distance? Be the tortoise and not the hare. And this hexagram will particularly bring our attention this week to some aspect of the long haul, the bigger picture, the longer marriage we are working towards, and what do we need to still be thinking about now to hold that picture of endurance in mind, the bigger picture. Okay, 2 changing lines in the first and the fourth position. And these 2 changing lines are a bit of a couplet in the changing lines. They fit together. They are corresponding lines in the structure of the hexagram. And so we have both of them. And they're not necessarily easy, but let's see how we can unpack and work with them. In changing line 1, this line speaks about cautioning us or drawing our attention to where in our life or in our thought stream at this time we are trying to push something for a long-term, deep, profound connection. We're trying to fix something, right? And lock in something that's going to endure in the long term, a long-term relationship, a long-term deep connection, a long-term value creation process. And we're trying to lock it in and rush it in and deepen it quickly. We're putting it into the pressure cooker as opposed to putting it into the slow cooker, right? And letting it slowly percolate. We are trying to gun to bring something to a place of depth and substance, all right? That takes time. Okay, so we're going to be perhaps tuned into some aspect where we're trying to push something to be a long-term contributor or value creation or something in our lives that's important for the long term. And we're trying to do it fast. Okay. Things that are valuable, that are meaningful, take time and take persistent effort over a period of time. Being in principle, being in your truth, being in what's really important, your higher purpose, over a long period of time builds and deepens the connection with people, with situations, with what it is you're trying to achieve. We can't rush it. Okay, this particular thing, there's something particular that we're going to be made aware of or perhaps tuned into, working with where we want to rush, and it's just going to take the time it's going to take. With this changing line, I often think of pregnancy. Now, sometimes the babies pop out a little earlier than expected, but usually it's a 9-month journey. Okay, that's how long that baby takes to go from the zygote to the fully fledged human popping out the other end, right? Literally out the other end. That's how long it takes, right? We cannot accelerate it. We can't take a pill that suddenly makes that process happen in 3 months. It's going to take the time it's going to take, because if we try and rush it, what comes out the other end is not a mature, healthy, balanced, calm situation. All right, so that's what we have to think about. Long term, the long-term plan. So that's line 1. In line 4, the little saying that goes with this line is, there is no game in this field. So we're trying to move forward. We're trying to create this long-term value. We're trying to hunt, okay, create an opportunity to catch something for the family. And there is no game in the field, nothing to be caught. So this speaks about we need to go and create long-term value, and we need to hunt in areas where there is game, where it's the right place to hunt. Okay, here there is no game in the field. Okay, there is nothing to be caught. It's empty, and the best thing you can do is leave this. Leave it alone. Go and look somewhere else for the game. So there's something here which can be, if we take an emotional idea, so we're seeking emotional comfort in a relationship where there is nothing to be gained from that. The emotional comfort cannot be found there. It can be found perhaps in another relationship or somewhere else in some other way. But the way that we're approaching it, what we are seeking to achieve, all right, the game in the field, what we're wanting to catch for our value is not there, all right. Mentally, that may be the same thing, all right. We're going down a process of trying to engage mentally to stimulate the brain, but what we're looking for and the place that we are looking for it in, it's not to be found there. We need to go and find other places to go and catch the game. And no amount of perseverance sitting watching this game, watching this field, is going to bring the game here. It's empty. So there's something with this line that's really bringing us to accepting where the thing that we were trying to find is devoid. Okay, now it might just be that this time of the year we're looking for things in places where they aren't coming. I know, like for us, that this time of year sales drop. You know, there isn't much happening. There's no team. Everyone's on holiday. Our clients are on holiday. Suppliers are on holiday. There's nothing happening. There's no point trying to hunt game in a field where everyone's gone on holiday. So that might apply to you too. But look deeper. Where else might we be trying to seek game, that long-term connection, where there's nothing to be gained in this field. There are fields where the game we need is abundant and prosperous. So we need to let it go. We need to recognize nothing is coming out of this. No matter how long we sit here and wait, nothing is coming out of this thing. Okay, our outcome hexagram for this week, with those two changing lines bringing us something specific to focus on duration and endurance, is hexagram 11, peace. Happiness. We're going into Christmas and all the family time with this energy of peace. So we can bring the energy of peace into our lives and our families. This hexagram is heaven on the bottom, earth on the top. Earth sinks, heaven rises. There's heaven on earth. Okay, this is the idea. It's a beautiful hexagram of flowering, of sharing, of peace, of opening up. And what it asks us to do is to be the open flower to receive the bee. Okay, there's a process here of flowering and opening up and of wonderful receptivity to fertile energy. Yes, it's fertility. Watch out, people. Holiday pregnancies. Okay, it's an element of fertility and being open and just being at peace. Not at peace when we think about war versus peace, but just everything being lined up, being in our skin, being present, being in a creative flow, tapping into ourselves and just being open and giving that energy off. Okay, creating circuits of energy with the other flowers. Okay, so it's a wonderful energy for us to have as we connect with family and friends this time of the year. To be present, be in the moment, the ever present now, and just be in that wonderful energy that's coming to bless us. Be open, the open flower, receiving the abundance of the bee. That is the week. Right, as we wrap up the year, I will be sharing one more weekly I Ching forecast with you before we go into the annuals and the monthlies and we get stuck into 2026. So make the most of this wonderful flowering energy this week. It's a beautiful thing to work with. Be blessed. Enjoy the wonderful time that you have with family and loved ones, or just with yourself if you've had the opportunity of reconnecting with who you are and your flower, what you're wanting to achieve for the year to come. Until we meet again next week, have a fantastic week and take care.